The Golden State Warriors were in pursuit of trading for Giannis at this year's trade deadline, but the Bucks refused that offer, so they decided to make a trade with the Hawks, sending away Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield, in return bringing in Kristaps Porzingis. I do like the addition of bringing in a 7'2" big man to be the brand new starting center, but a huge problem Porzingis has dealt with these last few seasons is staying healthy. Has been going down with a lot of injuries these past 2 seasons, so hopefully he's able to stay healthy here with the Warriors. But don't you worry, injuries will be turned off for this video, which means Porzingis cannot get hurt throughout the entirety of this video, and I've also brought back Jimmy Butler from his torn Achilles, so now we have a new big three of Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Kristaps Porzingis. So let's go out there and see if we're ready to win it all. And here is our rotation. So in our starting lineup, we have Stephen Curry, Moses Moody, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and Kristaps Porzingis. And then off the bench, we have Al Horford, DeAnthony Melton, Brennan Pajemski, and Gary Payton II. And at the time of this recording, we are the number 8 seed with 28 wins and 25 losses, but hopefully we can now change that around that we brought in Porzingis. Now let's simulate the first few games with our new rotation, but before that, please make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video and subscribe if you're new. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so please make sure to hit that subscribe button. The first game with our new rotation will be up against the Memphis Grizzlies. Let's see how we do here. So the first game, we do end up winning 139-97. Let's go. Curry goes on to drop 42 points, Jimmy Butler with 32, 18 from Pajemski, and Porzingis in his Warriors debut, 13 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 blocks. And another huge thing Porzingis brings to the Warriors team is his rim protection. Up until now, we never really had ourselves a rim protector, so Porzingis will definitely help out in that category. Next game is up against the Spurs. Can we also go on to defeat them? And we do end up losing here by 1 point. Moody dropped 21, 21 from Butler. Porzingis had 12 points, but sadly we fall short. And as of right now, we will be rolling with a 4-star overall system proficiency, perimeter centric under Steve Kerr. I'm now going to start simulating here until the end of this season, where hopefully we go on to make the playoff. I was taking a look at team stats, and we're currently one of the worst rebounding teams in the league, and Mason Plumlee is now a free agent, so I'm going to go ahead and sign him on a 2-year minimum contract, and we could play him about 10 minutes per game off of the bench, and hopefully that should help with rebounding. At the end of this season, Nikola Jokic goes on to win MVP, Cooper Flag Rookie of the Year, Jaime Jaquez 6-man, Victor Wembanyama Defensive Player, Quetta Most Improved, Cade Cunningham Clutch Player, Mark wins Coach of the Year, and the Celtics go on to win Executive of the Year. Let's see if we have any All-NBA selections, and it looks like we do not get ourselves Stephen Curry, which is kind of a surprise, and we don't get anyone on All Defensive Team either. That is okay, because we ended this season being the number 3 seed, winning a total of 51 games and losing only 31. So clearly the addition of Kristaps Porzingis has helped out our team a ton. Before we start simulating the playoffs, let's take a look at the player stats and see how our team did. So the leading scorer was Stephen Curry, averaging 27 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, 5 assists, shooting 48, 40, 93, which is why I was kind of surprised he did not make All-NBA team. 22 points per game from Jimmy Butler, 17 from Porzingis, 11 from Melton, 11 from Pajemski, and 11 from Moses Moody. Now in the first round of the playoffs, we are going to be taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves, the same team that eliminated the Warriors last year in the playoffs. So hopefully this time around we're able to get our revenge. Their starting lineup, they have Dante DiVincenzo, Anthony Edwards, McDaniels, Julius Randle, and Rudy Gobert, as well as Naz Reid coming off of their bench. And now they also have Ayo Dosunmu, who I totally forgot about, the new addition they made at the trade deadline. Let's see how things go here in the playoffs. Game number 1 will go to us, and playoff Jimmy came and showed up, dropping 44 points, 31 from Curry and 18 from Moody. Let's go. Game number 2 will also go to us, and playoff Jimmy once again with a 40-piece, 48 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists. Pajemski with 17, Curry did struggle here with only 7 points, Porzingis dropping 15 as well as 4 blocks. We also go on to win game 3, and we cannot, they do defeat us here. and they held us to 88 points, but we also held them to 91. Curry had 23, Jimmy with 21, and where is Porzingis? Porzingis struggled big time here, sadly, 1 of 11 from the field. So far here in the playoffs, Porzingis has been struggling pretty badly. He's shooting 38% from the field, but hopefully he can pick things up. So far, Rudy Gobert has been playing really well defense on him. Let's jump into Simcast for this next game and see how we do, where the Wolves will have home court advantage, and so far they do have the lead, but can we come back? And we do fall short. We almost came back there in the fourth quarter, but we did not go hard enough. Curry shot 4 of 21 from the field, Butler had 17, Porzingis 5 of 12 from the field. The series is tied at 2-2 apiece. I have come up with a defensive coach game plan. Let's see if that's going to help us win this next game. We'll jump into Simcast. We do have home court advantage on our side, and so far we have the lead, but can we keep it is a question, and yes we can. We end up winning by 10 points, where Curry dropped 25, Butler with 18, and Porzingis with 13. All we gotta do now is win one more game, and then we'll have advanced to the next round. So far the Wolves have the lead, and it looks like they will be winning this game, 120-99. Curry played amazing, but sadly the rest of the team not so much. Now it's time for Game 7, winner go home situation. Let's see what happens here, and we will have home court advantage on our side. So far we do have the lead by quite a bit, but now they do push back here in the second half of this game. Let's slow this down a little bit and see what happens. We are up by 2 points, 6 minutes remaining, back and forth battle. They have the lead by 1, 2 minutes remaining, we have the lead. We are starting to run away with it, and it looks like we do end up winning 113-109. Playoff Jimmy dropping 37 points, 21 from Melton in 21 minutes. Curry with 18, where is Porzingis? He did struggle here, only dropping 9 points, but he did have 2 blocks. And now, thankfully, we have made it to the second round of the playoffs. Curry has been struggling here in the playoffs so far. As you guys can see, he's shooting only 37% from the field, 25 from the three-point line. Jimmy has been carrying us here, almost averaging 30 points per game. Porzingis also has been struggling, 40% from the field, 33% from the three-point line, but hopefully they can pick things up here. Now in the second round, we will be taking on the San Antonio Spurs, who have themselves De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, Vassell, Barnes, and Victor Wembanyama. Let's go ahead and simulate the first game of this series and see how it goes. Game number 1 will go to us. Playoff Jimmy dropping 40 points, 27 from Curry, 10 from Green, and 10 from Porzingis. Game number 2 will also go to us. Curry with 37, there we go, Porzingis with 19, Moody with 18. Game 3 also goes to us, and this time it's Curry dropping 44 points, Jimmy with 23, Porzingis with 20. Are we going to go on to sweep the Spurs? And yes, we do. Just like that, we've made it to the conference finals. Playoff Jimmy just dropped 30 points, 12 boards, and 8 assists. 21 from Curry and 11 from Porzingis. In the conference finals, we're either going to be taking on the Denver Nuggets or the defending NBA champs, the Oklahoma City Thunder. And it will be the defending champions, the OKC Thunder. They still have themselves Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Wallace, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, and Isaiah Hartenstein. And this is their bench unit. Let's see how things go here. Game number 1 will go to us, 107-84, where Jimmy dropped 31 points, 26 from Porzingis, and 7 from Curry. Game number 2 will also go to us. Let's go. We end up winning this game by 1 point, where Curry dropped 36, Jimmy with 26, and 19 from Porzingis. And we also go on to win game 3, and yes, we can. Curry just dropped 28 points, 24 from Butler, and 17 from Porzingis. Porzingis has been playing a lot better here in the conference finals. Can we sweep the OKC Thunder? And yes, we can. Let's go. Playoff Jimmy drops 36 points there in game 4, 18 from Curry, and 15 from Porzingis. And just like that, we've made it to the NBA Finals. It looks like we're either going to have to take on the New York Knicks or the Pistons, and it will be the Pistons. Jimmy Butler goes on to win Western Conference Finals MVP, averaging nearly 30 points per game, 2 steals and 1 block. We have Cade Cunningham winning Eastern Conference Finals MVP for the Detroit Pistons. Let's take a look at the Detroit Pistons starting lineup. So they have themselves Cade Cunningham, Kevin Huerter, Ausar Thompson, Tobias Harris, and Jalen Duren, and this is their bench unit. They were the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. First they defeated the Miami Heat, then the Magic, then the New York Knicks, so they're definitely a really good team. Game number 1 will go to us in playoff Jimmy dropping 35 points, 25 from Porzingis, and Curry with 23 points and 12 assists. Porzingis also had himself 6 blocks. Let's see if we're also able to win game number 2, and we do end up falling short here in game 2, losing by 4 points where Cade Cunningham dropped 41, Butler had 29, 16 from Curry, and 18 from Porzingis. What I am going to do is come up with a defensive coach game plan. That's because I do not want Curry guarding a 6'6" Cade Cunningham. I would much rather have Jimmy Butler or Moses Moody deal with him. The series is tied at 1-1 apiece. I have come up with a defensive coach game plan. Let's see if that helps us win this next game where we do have home court advantage. So far we do have the lead by quite a bit, and it looks like the defensive coach game plan did work out in our favor. They did outscore us a ton in the 4th quarter, but we scored 146 points. Curry dropped 32, 24 from Butler, and 21 from Melton. Porzingis also had 16 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 blocks. Hopefully we're also able to win this next game where we have home court advantage once again. We do start off the first half with a lead, but can we keep it? And yes, we can. 120 to 115 where playoff Jimmy showed up dropping 47 points, 18 from Porzingis and 15 from Curry. And this playoff run is showing us why Jimmy Butler has been so important for the Warriors' success. It really does suck that he had to go down with an injury this season. Otherwise, I truly believe this team would have won a championship this season. And you never know, if Porzingis could stay healthy, Curry and him may just be able to do so as well. Let's jump into Simcast here for this next game. The Pistons have home court advantage. Can we go out there and get this win? And so far it's a pretty close back and forth battle, and we do end up winning by 2 points, 122 to 120, where Curry dropped 24, Butler with 24, and Porzingis with 23. And just like that, we've won the Golden State Warriors a championship, with Jimmy Butler winning Finals MVP, averaging 32 points per game, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 1.5 steals, shooting 53% from the field and 90% from the 3-point line. I will be running it back one more season to see if we can go on to win a back-to-back championship, but before that, let's take a look at the player stats for the playoffs. We played a total of 20 games, and the leading scorer was playoff Jimmy, averaging 29 points per game, 24 from Curry, and 16 from Porzingis. Moses Moody was really good for us as well, averaging 12 points per game while shooting 47% from the 3-point line. Then in the NBA Finals, we played 5 games. The leading scorer was Jimmy once again with 32 points per game, 22 from Curry, and 20 from Porzingis. This offseason, we have a lot of players on our team trying to retire, one of them being Draymond Green. I am going to go ahead and overturn his retirement. That way we're able to play one more season with him, and if we want, we can also trade him this offseason. And I'm going to do the same for Al Horford, GP2, and Seth Curry. In 2K Simulation, once you extend a player's contract, for some reason their team player option disappears, but I went ahead and updated Draymond Green's contract to $25 million, which he will be being paid in real life for this next season, and now I'm going to try trading him to the Denver Nuggets for Aaron Gordon. Draymond Green will be regressing a ton this off season, so might as well bring in a player that has a pretty similar playstyle to Draymond, but he's also a way better offensive player. Let's see what the Denver Nuggets say for Draymond Green and Q Santos, and they do give us a counteroffer, so they only want 1 first-round pick, Q Santos, and Draymond Green for Aaron Gordon. Sign me up. Now for team player options, I am going to of course pick up the team option on Brandon Pajemski. He does play really well here in 2K Simulation, so I will be keeping him a part of our team unless there's a better trade offer for him. Quinton Post I will go ahead and give the qualifying offer to. We don't need Pat Spencer, so I will not give it to him. Is there anyone else we need to re-sign? And no, there isn't, so we do have every player on our team on a long-term contract. And I had completely forgot about Kristaps Porzingis being a free agent this offseason. He already has 3 offers from 3 separate teams, and the biggest offer he has right now is from the Los Angeles Lakers that are offering him a 4-year $96 million contract. So let's go ahead and offer him more than what they're offering him, then we should be able to bring him back most likely, and it looks like he will be accepting our deal on a 4-year $105 million contract. It looks like DeAnthony Melton is also a free agent. I'm not sure why we didn't have the option to give both him and Porzingis a qualifying offer, or why they do not have bird rights, but I'm going to go ahead and offer him a contract. He only wants a minimum, so he should be accepting on this, and it looks like we do also bring him back on a 2-year $4.87 million contract. Bringing in a backup center like Mitchell Robinson would be huge for us. I'm going to see if he'll accept on a minimum contract. We're going to offer him a 2-year minimum, which hopefully he goes on to accept, and it looks like he does. So we get Mitchell Robinson, Melton, and Porzingis, and I'm still going to try to sign a few more free agents. It looks like we also have enough money for Quentin Grimes and Luke Dort. I am going to try giving Quentin Grimes a contract here, a 3-year contract, paying him about $4.7 million annually. He does do really well here in 2K Simulation, so hopefully he accepts. And let's see if he does, and no he doesn't, so he ends up going to the Portland Trail Blazers, which really sucks. Tobias Harris is somebody that's a free agent. We do have enough money to bring him in. I may just sign and then trade him to a different team, but I'm going to go ahead and offer him a 2-year $4.7 million contract, which he does end up accepting. And I decided to throw Moses Moody and Tobias Harris in Trade Finder. The Orlando Magic are offering us Anthony Black. We could use Anthony Black to be our brand new starting shooting guard. He's a good playmaker, defender, and he can score when we need him to. I am going to be pulling off this trade here with the Orlando Magic, where we send them Moses Moody, Tobias Harris, and a 1st-round pick in return for Jet Howard and Anthony Black. And then if we change Anthony Black's position from point guard to shooting guard, he does go to an 82 overall, which is absolutely amazing. Plus, he's going to end up progressing this offseason as well. He's only 22 years old. Hopefully he ends up hitting 84, 85 overall. Here we are at the start of this season with a brand new 9-man rotation. In our starting lineup, we're going to have Stephen Curry, Anthony Black, Jimmy Butler, Aaron Gordon, and Kristaps Porzingis. And then off the bench, we have Brendan Podziemski, DeAnthony Melton, Mitchell Robinson, and Al Horford. We do have a few more players here that I signed. I did sign Kenrich Williams in free agency just in case Al Horford does not play well. We can always sub him out for Kenrich Williams. And the same for Jet Howard. If DeAnthony Melton isn't playing well, we will be subbing him in for Jet Howard. And Howard has gone up a ton here in overall. As you guys can see, he's now a 77 overall, and I'm pretty sure when we traded for him, he was a 73 overall. Let's simulate the first few games with this new roster and see how we do. Let's go ahead and simulate past the first week, and so far we do end up winning 2 out of the 3 games. We scored 140 points here against the 76ers, where Curry had 26, Butler with 23, Anthony Black in his Warriors debut dropped 21, Porzingis had 19. And then we scored 132 points here against the OKC Thunder, Curry with 37, 22 from Butler, and 20 from Porzingis, who currently is averaging 25 points per game. And it looks like we will be rolling with a 4-star overall system proficiency, perimeter-centric under Steve Kerr. I'm now going to start simulating here until the trade deadline, and if there's any trades to be made, of course, I'll make sure to stop and show you all. At the end of this season, Nikola Jokic goes on to win MVP, AJ Debonsa Rookie of the Year, Russell Westbrook 6th Man of the Year with the Lakers, Victor Wembanyama Defensive Player, Risa Shea Most Improved, Jokic Clutch Player, Steve Kerr Coach of the Year, and we also end up winning Executive of the Year. Let's see if we have any All-NBA selections, and once again, no Stephen Curry. I'm not sure why that's always the case here in 2K Simulation, but he was playing absolutely amazing. We don't get anyone on All-Defensive Team either, but none of that matters because we ended this season being the number 1 seed, winning a total of 68 games and losing only 14. Our team was dominating the Western Conference. Before we start simulating the playoffs, let's take a look at the player stats for the regular season. So the leading scorer on our team was none other than Stephen Curry, nearly averaging 28 points per game at age 39 on 50, 40, 90 shooting splits. Amazing season from Curry. 22 points per game from Jimmy Butler, 17 from Porzingis, 15 from Anthony Black, 13 from Gordon, and 13 from Brendan Podziemski. Our big three of Curry, Butler, and Porzingis continues dominating. Now in the first round of the playoffs, we will be taking on the Houston Rockets, who have themselves Amin Thompson, Tim Hardaway Jr., Kevin Durant, Jabari Smith Jr., and Alperen Şengün. This is their bench unit. Now let's see if we're able to go on to win a back-to-back championship. Game number 1 does go to us in playoff Jimmy, dropping 29 points, Curry with 23, Gordon with 21, Porzingis with a 15-point double-double. Game number 2 will also go to us, and this time it's Porzingis dropping 35 points, Curry with a 28-point double-double, and 16 from Aaron Gordon. Game 3 will also go to us, Curry dropping 35 points, 21 from Butler, and 14 from Porzingis. Are we going to go on to sweep KD and the Rockets? And yes, we do. Curry dropped 42 points here, Porzingis with a 21-point double-double, and Aaron Gordon with 20. And just like that, we've made it to the second round of the playoffs. Let's take a look at how our big three has been doing. So Curry so far is averaging 32 points per game. Jimmy's averaging nearly 20 points per game, and Porzingis is averaging a 21-point double-double. Let's go. Now in the second round of the playoffs, we're taking on the OKC Thunder, who have themselves Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Wallace, Jalen Williams, and Chet Holmgren. So they do have a big three over there in OKC. Game number 1 will go to us in playoff Jimmy, dropping 28 points, 22 from Porzingis, and 21 from Curry. Game number 2 will also go to us, Curry leading the way here with 31 points. Curry has been dominating, hopefully he can continue this. Game 3 will also go to us, Curry with a 35-point double-double. 30 from Porzingis, and 25 and 13 from Jimmy. Are we going to go on to sweep the OKC Thunder? And we do not sweep them, but can we, gentlemen, sweep them? And yes, we can. Curry dropped 33 and 12, Porzingis with 31, Gordon with 20, Podziemski with 20, and Jimmy Butler with 17. Now we've made it to the conference finals, where we're taking on the San Antonio Spurs. They have themselves De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Sohan, and Victor Wembanyama, as well as Dylan Harper coming off of their bench. So far here in the playoffs, Porzingis is averaging nearly 24 points per game on 60% from the field. Jimmy's averaging 20, and Curry's averaging 31 points per game. Let's go. Game number 1 here against the Spurs, we do end up winning, Curry with 34, Butler with 21. Game 2 will also go to us, Curry with 39, let's go. Porzingis with 26, 24 from Butler. Game 3, we do end up falling short here, 126 to 121. Curry played amazing, but sadly our defense was not all that good. Game 4 does go to us, 124 to 109. Porzingis led the way here with 36 points and 23 from Curry. Now it's time for Game 5. Let's see if we're going to the NBA Finals, and we do fall short here sadly by 5 points. It looks like the Chicago Bulls have made it to the NBA Finals, defeating the Detroit Pistons. Hopefully we're also able to make it there. Let's jump into Simcast here for Game 6, where the Spurs will have home court advantage. So far they are winning, but we take the lead from them. We're up by 11 points, 10 minutes remaining. We go on to win 142 to 134, where Curry dropped 41 points, 19 from Podziemski, and Stephen Curry wins Western Conference Finals MVP, averaging 32 points per game. Then we have Josh Giddey, Eastern Conference Finals MVP for the Chicago Bulls. This is kind of a surprise that the Bulls made it to the NBA Finals, especially after all those crazy trades they made at the trade deadline for a bunch of guards. Let's take a look at their roster. So they do have Josh Giddey, Jaden Ivey, Isaac Okoro, Matej Buzelis, and it looks like Vucevic came back to the Chicago Bulls. Okay, so he got traded to the Boston Celtics, but he may have signed back with the Bulls or gotten traded back to the Bulls. I'm not sure which one. They also have Isaiah Hartenstein coming off of their bench, and Darren Peterson, who they drafted with a first overall pick. The Bulls were the number 3 seed, so let's not take them lightly whatsoever. Game number 1 does go to us, Curry dropping 30, 21 from Butler. Game number 2 will also go to us, Curry with 37, Butler with 24. Game 3 does end up going to the Chicago Bulls. They defeat us here 112 to 108. Curry with 27, Butler with 24, but we do fall short. And we do end up winning Game 4, putting us up 3-1. We won this game by 3 points, Curry with 24 points. And now, can we gentlemen sweep the Chicago Bulls? And we do end up falling short here, 121 to 116. Jaden Ivey dropped 30 points. Black had 24, 19 from Curry. I have changed up some shot tendencies for our players, hiring Aaron Gordon shot tendency because he's been playing amazing here in the playoffs, shooting 63% from the field. So let's see if that's going to help us win this next game. The Bulls will have home court advantage. And so far we do have the lead, but they take it from us. They're up by 4, 7 minutes remaining. Let's slow this down a little bit here and see what happens. It is a really close game, 2:50 remaining. And we do take the lead from the Bulls. Let's go. But they take it right back and we end up winning this game by 1 single point. Anthony Black dropped 20 points, 17 from Butler. Curry is nowhere to be seen. He did have 13 points. He did play amazing. He just did not take as many shots as I would have hoped. But just like that, we go on to win the Golden State Warriors a back-to-back championship with Jimmy Butler winning Finals MVP, averaging 20 points per game. Let's take a look at the player stats for the playoffs before I end off this video. So in the playoffs, we played a total of 21 games, and in those 21 games, the leading scorer was none other than Stephen Curry, averaging 30 points per game, 3 rebounds, 7 assists on 50, 40, 90 shooting splits. Then we had Jimmy Buckets averaging 20 points per game, 20 from Porzingis, 15 from Gordon. In the NBA Finals, where we played a total of 6 games, the leading scorer was Stephen Curry, averaging 25 points per game. And if I'm being honest, Curry should have won Finals MVP, but it is what it is. Jimmy Butler was averaging 20 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 6 assists, as well as 2 steals per game. 16 from Black, 15 from Gordon, and 14 from Kristaps Porzingis. And now that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button and also subscribe if you're new for more NBA 2K26 videos. That really does support out the channel and video a ton. And click here on the screen to watch my latest upload. Until next time, it's your boy Dragon, and I'm out. Peace.